Following a recent series of accidents, there has been a growing sense of interest in safety and disaster readiness, with more people taking part in related drills. Not only that, research for disaster prevention technology has been intensified, and at Ulsan National Institute of Science and Technology, the main focus is on gas leak detection. What researchers here are closely observing are stag beetles. The patterns on their backs that look like tattoos are none other than the newly developed electric circuits that have gas leakage sensors attached to them.
We have created an electronic circuit that people can wear, and one that sticks and bends. It can detect even the lowest gas concentrations at 1 ppm.
When the circuit detects a gas leak, it transmits the data wirelessly and also receives power without using any wires. The circuit is made with carbon, not metals, so it bends easily. It does not come with any adhesives, but if you float it in water, you can attach it like a sticker. Not only that, it can also be attached to the surface of skin, clothing, newspapers, fingernails, plants, and many other places that were not conventionally possible, allowing for better detection.
For example, where there is nuclear or radiation contamination, we can stick it onto the surrounding environment, where people can't go, to determine the contamination levels.
In buildings and large bridges, there are many sensors that we are unaware of. To detect changes that usually come with older structures, there are corrosion detection sensors and sensors to identify cracks. There are also temperature fluctuation sensors for higher temperatures. Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, or KAIST, has developed new sensors that come with added functions to existing devices in order to better detect the most subtle of changes. The sensor is powered wirelessly, and after conducting a self-checkup, it transmits the data without any wires, helping prevent accidents ahead of time. Meanwhile, there are also two types of non-contact laser sensors that you can use to detect damage to structures just by firing the beams onto the surface. One can be used on the structure as a whole to quickly determine damages, while the other laser is used on more specific areas. After conducting a self-checkup using laser signals, it sends out the changes to let people know what damage the structure has sustained. More technologies to prevent disasters and improve emergency readiness are being actively developed to create a safer environment.
And to get a closer look at how these technologies could prevent disasters involving large structures or bridges, we're now joined by Professor Sohn from the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering at KAIST. Welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
Good morning.
So this ultrasonic wireless sensor, could this only be used to detect cracks or damages on facades, or could it go through places there where we can't really see?
Yes, actually this is a prototype of wireless sensor that we are developing. And this sensor can be placed even in hidden locations, which are normally difficult to access for visual inspections. So the advantage of this sensor is that first, this sensor can detect even very small cracks in the range of sub-micrometers. And also, the whole data processing can be performed inside the sensor unit, and then only the outcomes are going to be transmitted to a base station through wireless sensing technologies. So once we stick this sensor to hidden locations, then this sensor operates automatically. So we call this sensor as stick and detect sensor.
And then basically you just put it in there, and that would really show the structural rigidity, and if there were any compromises to the rigidity, then it would show up right away, which would do a lot for safety. Now, forgive me for my ignorance in this subject, but non-contact laser, what is the difference from that and just regular lasers?
Yes, the main difference is that unlike two other sensing techniques, we are using two different kinds of laser beams. We use one laser beam for creating ultrasonic waves, like you saw in the previous video clip. And then we can create ultrasonic waves, and then using the other laser beam, we can measure the responses. So by scanning those two laser beams, we can visualize even hidden defects. And to my best knowledge, this is the first full non-contact laser ultrasonic systems developed for field applications.
Yeah, staying on that non-contact laser sensor, could it only be used for buildings or bridges, or is there any other places we can use them?
Actually, there are ample applications. And one example is that we are adopting this technology for crack detection in semiconductor chips. Because currently, there's no champion technology which can be applied during the fabrication of semiconductor chips, because there's no way that you can place any discrete sensors to those micro semiconductor chips during the fabrication. So that's where we come in, because in our case, we can just scan those semiconductor chips as they are fabricated using laser beams.
Well, it sounds like you have something really big over here which can be used in many different applications that you just mentioned. What kind of plans do you have for the future with this technology or any other technologies involving sensors and non-contact lasers?
Yes, for the next few years, actually, I like to focus my time and efforts on advancing these sensing technologies and making transition to commercializations. As a matter of fact, we already signed some licensing agreement with some private companies. And we are expected to deliver some prototype system in next 1 or 2 years.
So it won't take long until
Exactly. So maybe in a couple of years, we'll have those sensors fitted in all the new buildings that are made out there, making everything a little bit safer, right?
Yes, maybe I can be billionaire by that time, who knows?
And then you can come back on the program and...
Absolutely, if you invite me, anytime.
Of course. Thank you very much, Professor.
My pleasure.
Thank you.